Welcome back, everyone. Going in the second half
Oh,
here of the show. What's up?
hi.
Hi. What's up?
We weren't talking about anything.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
Hmm.
You guys were muted anyway, so nothing came through.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
Good. Very good.
Now you look really fucking just on point. You just look like the greatest people.
Well, you said unmuted and we're live, but you don't actually unmute us. You
Did I not?
liar.
I counted you in. What are you talking about? Yeah. Oh, you guys didn't hear
Didn't
that
hear
at
a
all?
countdown.
Oh, maybe the gate.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't loud enough because I was doing. I was over here, so maybe the gate wasn't loud enough. Anyways, my bad. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys aren't
All
unmuted
good.
until I said welcome back, and then I unmute
The
you guys.
best mistake that could have happened. We're good.
Yeah, great. Sounds good. Zeke, me and Co were talking a lot at the end of the last segment, so we'll start with you. You've been playing some other games that are not Borderlands.
Yes.
Where do we want to begin? We kind of talked about Remnant a little bit, so let's start there and we'll get your quick thoughts on it. I think we talked about this when you were the last time you were out, whatever that was for. I don't remember what that was for. What do you think about Did you play Remnant by yourself? Were you solo in it?
I play. One day I played it a full broadcast by myself, and then
Okay.
the next day, because I played it for two broadcasts.
Yeah.
And then the next broadcast, it was all co-op with chat with viewers.
Ah. What'd you think? Do you like Remnant? You think it's a good game? How do you feel about it?
I do. I think it's a really good game. It has a lot of really cool things going for it. The solo is like there's three settings, right? There's normal, or there's four, I don't know, but there's the ones I was picking from were normal, hard, and extreme, or something like that, or nightmare, I think.
Yeah.
And I started on nightmare,
Oh, okay.
and the first the first section of the game was not too bad. It was difficult, it was challenging. I died a few times, but I was able to get through it. This particular part on nightmare, this little I don't know, warehouse sewery kind of a section
Yeah.
with all these little. Oh wait, maybe no, it wasn't this part.
A little bit after this.
This is further in the future. But
Oh, okay.
there was a part where there's like this sewer enclosed space kind of an area where these you just get mobbed by these little globe shaped sewer demon things, and it was fucking annoying and frustrating, and I couldn't
Oh, the
get
little ball
the end
guys.
of the thing.
Yeah.
And
That
you
explode.
can't this particular part, it's so enclosed that it is super difficult to Dark Souls run to the next checkpoint, because you just get fucking mobbed by those assholes.
Yeah.
So on Nightmare, it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
It was
dude,
bad.
I
It
Nightmare. They put Baru as the only person, or maybe it was the first person to finish the game on Nightmare solo, and it was so hard that they put an item in the game that basically says only a fucking idiot would try to beat this game on Nightmare by themselves. So it is
Well,
not
what's-
the way to play the game at all on your first playthrough.
What's really cool is I think it's called Ring of the Admiral.
Yeah.
And what it does is it's the highest damage enhancing ring you can get. But its sub effect is that it increases the damage taken by 200%.
Yeah.
But the
Three-
thing is that if you're
300%.
playing on 300%, but if you're playing on Nightmare, you're getting one shot anyway. So it's cool, get the damage.
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah,
Well,
the
and that's
devs
the
actually
thing,
called it literally impossible when Baru was doing it, which of course only gave him strength.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And trust me, I saw nothing but Baru comments. I get them
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time anyway. But certain games, in particular, they'll be like, "Oh, Baru did this. I watched Baru do it." I'm just like,
Stop.
okay. It pisses me off because I don't like to be compared to other things, other people. Baru is not a thing; he's a person, I think. And two, you're watching my channel, I'm not as skilled. I am average to below average as far as the skill of gaming I have goes.
Sure.
I used to be average to above average, but age catches up, and my reaction times are not as swift as they used to be, and yada yada yada. But
My brain doesn't good as think.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like watching me try to dunk a basketball and be like, man, fucking LeBron James dunked it 10 times in a row, easy. Like, fuck you! I'm not LeBron James, you know?
Yeah.
However, I would say that if I had a prior knowledge of the game, picked a different class or went with different weapons or something like that, I might have been able to get through it. Like if I have a feeling that if I went and did the same thing, started a new game on nightmare mode solo, and I picked like a melee class or something like that, or just like played around with it, I bet I could get through it, because that part on its own was fucking terrible. And then the rest of the game was doable because it wasn't like in a super enclosed area. So you could like back off, like pick off enemies, back off, pick off more enemies and stuff like that.
It's I don't think you could, only because I know how fucking stupid difficult. Like Nightmare is actually not fun. It's not a fun way to play this. It is not fun, and that's how hard it is. Like the fact that Baru did it is not a testament to him being good at games. It's that he is stubborn as fuck. That's what it is. Like,
right, sure.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with his skill level. It's that he's stubborn and did just like powered through however long it was to beat the game. Because it is not a fun way to play it. So, yeah.
So I changed it to just the next difficulty down, the hard difficulty. And it was challenging, and I got through it, and it was fine. Like I went and I think I beat like 2-3 bosses maybe during my solo campaign, or just playing it solo and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. It was challenging. I died. It didn't feel like I was, beating my head against the wall. It felt like I was getting better every time. And it's similar to Dark Souls like that, where you come up against a boss and you do like 10% of his health and then you die. Like, okay, this is what happens you learn one of the mechanics pretty well.
Yep.
And then you come back, like you do 30% of his health. You're like, okay, there's another mechanic that I wasn't aware of. This happens. Or like these ads come, blah, blah, blah. And then, you come back and come back, keep coming back. And then you eventually get it, which is, I love that kind of system. And I had a lot of fun playing it solo. And then the next day, I brought in whoever had the game that wanted to join me. And it was also extremely fun. How the balancing in that goes, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but how the balancing in that goes is they take the person with who's hosting the game, and if the people that come into the game are way higher level, they just balance it to +3 of your equipment.
I think that's right.
So whatever you're wearing, and I think it's based on your armor equipment, if I'm not mistaken. If I was at level 5, the highest the enemies could go is level 8. So they were still like, I was still like with people, I was like, pink, 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 pink. And they would come up and be like, all right, got that one. All right, let's keep moving.
Yeah.
So I was like, doing my part. I was like, I'm helping, Daddy, I'm helping. It felt a little bit like that for a while. But once I got some people like that, or leveled up and people got closer to my level, it was fun, challenging. You start clearing stuff a lot more quickly. You get more loot more quickly. Once you're in the group, as far as the multiplayer aspect goes, once you're in the group, it's easy to travel around with them and go. And it's 3 to a group, like 3 max to a group. So you and two other people. But they should please make it so I don't have to be friends on Steam before I can
invite
put
them.
people in a group.
Yeah.
Have a password, like lobby, please for me. Have a password lobby.
Yeah.
So I don't have to just because in order to get people to play with me, I had to have them request my friendship, accept it, and then they could jump in and shit like that. Thankfully, the Steam friendship thing has been I think it's been broadened a little bit, so you don't have as small of a max friend, because that was a big problem. But it was just a pain in the ass that I think is completely unnecessary. If you just implement a password system for jumping into a lobby or whatever.
Yeah.
However, once you're in, it's very easy. You all go back at like from here to there quickly and simply. And I love the designs of the game, like the enemy designs, the differing like landscapes that you go through. Like it's not all drab and dreary. Like the hub, this Warehouse 13, I don't remember, like Ward 13, I think is what it's called. It's post-apocalyptic drab, like ironworks factory, power plant kind of a place. But like once you get out in the world, there's like lush forest areas, there's desert areas,
Okay,
there's
good. So you
like
got
all
to those
kinds.
areas. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So super colorful and
It only
and-
gets better.
and-
Yeah, it really
and
does.
the enemies get like more varied. They do different stuff. They have different mechanics. So I had a blast playing it. However, it's one of those games like for me, co-op and multiplayer stuff. My channel suffers because I am very chat interactive, and that the chat interaction goes down because I am interacting with the people who are in the game with me.
Right.
Because we have to, say like, okay, we're going back to the hub. Okay, now you get the ads, I'll get this, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it was a blast. I think it's a very well put together game. I didn't get to any end game content or anything like that, so I don't know like how it progresses. I think I made it through. I want to say like 2 lands, and the way the lands are set up, I think I'm not sure if they're all set up like this, but there's like a central hub, and then these tendrils that go off into like a level and a boss fight, level and a boss fight, level and a boss fight, level and a boss fight.
Somewhat, yeah. So there's
Sort
a
of
little
like that.
variance, yeah.
So I made it through 2, like I think I cleared like 2.5 hubs or whatever, like worlds or lands or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a patch that came out for that game this past week. Do you know if you were playing on that or no?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe the DLC is not out yet for that. I know that there's DLC soon, or some added.
Oh, the
content.
adventure mode and stuff.
Yeah, is adventure mode? That's what it is. Is that already out, Code? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's basically going to allow you, instead of having to re-roll the world, you can re-roll specific areas to get specific loot.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah. Some people in chat are saying soon. Yes, it's out tomorrow. So it's either out
Okay.
or
Cool.
around now. So cool. Yeah, I'm glad you got to play that game. It's definitely, they do some cool stuff in there.
fun.
Yeah, and it was a fun playthrough, except for the
What
final
is that?
boss.
Awesome.
The final boss is a fucking pain in the ass. So
Real quick, guys, for anyone that's tried it, is adventure mode cool? Is it something that's going to like get you to play the game more than you already have? I'm kind of curious. Yeah. I wonder, like, is it because the thinking from what I heard is adventure mode was there specifically for people that wanted to like farm specific bosses for specific loots for specific builds.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, how much of that is really in the game? More or less for farming and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
seeing the people that are interested in the game. I think are interested in adventure mode for sure. They're also
Cool.
saying a new dungeon comes out tomorrow, so I don't know if that's like an in-game dungeon or what.
I think that game could be amazing in like a year or two when it has like multiple main campaigns and then you can like roll between them and maybe some raids and like they could, if they took it far enough, Remnant could be awesome
It's
and last a long time.
in my mind, you just described Destiny.
Yeah, well, I mean, it feels and plays like Destiny anyway.
Yeah, it does.
So I
It
think
does.
that in some ways, in hybridizing like the Dark Soulsy bits with the farming bits, and more importantly, giving goals and reasons to farm outside of just killing the bosses you're getting loot from faster.
Sure.
That could be something that they could, again, take pretty far if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you guys said it because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to say the word Destiny and have people go like, and have you guys go like, "Ah," or the chat like blow up or whatever. But it definitely gave me Destiny vibes, like for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Without it, the core thing
Not a bad
is
thing.
definitely Destiny-ish inspired. Yeah. But they do a lot of unique things too to the game, which I think is a cool variety, a cool spin on it, without a doubt. So.
I loved Remnant, man. I had a great time in that game.
Yeah,
They
so did
played
I.
the whole thing through with Barry. I don't do a lot of co-op, but the co-op was enjoyable. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Like, it was good.
Yep. Yeah, me and I think that was, if you missed me and Code talk about that, it was 2 or 3 episodes. Whenever Jericho was on, is when we discussed our Remnant experiences. Zeke, I'm curious to know about Blair Witch. Was it good or bad? I think that
Yeah.
last means that it was bad, but it was good.
I've heard so many, like, all over the spectrum. For this.
Same here. How is it, Zeke?
This, I mean, god damn, is this a mixed bag?
Yeah.
It is like the mixed reviews are probably exactly right on because it starts out like your average horror game, and it's got gorgeous environment. The graphics are once I got it, like, you know, to stop the screen tearing and the FPS drops by just changing graphical settings and shit like that. It ran beautifully. It looked great. This, like, the flashlight mechanic is super suspenseful and like keeps you on the edge because it looks like an actual flashlight. It just like lights up like one area, like kind of right in front of you, and everything else is left in shadow. So the way the light plays in the darkness is really, really suspenseful and really well done. And then stuff happens where
Okay.
no, we haven't got to the bad part yet.
Okay.
Like, this isn't bad. It's just confusing. Then we get to a section of the game where you're like, wait a minute, hold on. What's like? I don't want to spoil anything, but it takes you off track of like being in a forest and being haunted and stuff like that to like mental stuff. Like, it's right off. Like, so this isn't actually spoiling because it's right at the beginning of the game. You have on your like, because this game takes place in like 1996 or something like that.
Yeah.
And on your phone you have a doctor, and it's a therapist. I won't go into like what's going on, but like it goes into that, it like transitions into that, like your psyche stuff, and it moves away from like the Blair Witch kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And even like so much so that I was forced to wonder, like, did they slap Blair Witch on this?
Towards the end of development, yeah.
Like, did they slap the name on this to get recognition, like brand recognition and sales and stuff? Because I wasn't mad at what they were doing at all. Like, I wasn't upset. I thought it was a very cool, like, it was a jarring jump from like being haunted to like going into someone's mental state and like their like past and their visions and blah blah blah. I didn't mind that at all, but it didn't feel like I was playing Blair Witch anymore. It felt like I was playing a completely different game. Like, I even brought up like oh shit, I don't want to say it.
Spoiler
but
stuff.
I brought up another game that had this like kind of mentality attached to it. I was like, oh man, I love it. I think it's a cool thing, but it doesn't feel like Blair Witch. And then you get through that section, and then you go back, and you're back to Blair Witch again. And you're like, I wonder, like, if this was a different game, and they just added like all the sticks, like, you know, the
Sure.
stick, like,
Yeah, that's all you gotta
people
do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like, because everything else, it's like it takes place in a forest, and there's a lost child, and you are the person, you're the police officer, like, or sheriff or deputy, you're the deputy or something like that, tapped to find the lost child in the forest, which could be anything.
Yeah.
Which doesn't have to be Blair Witch. And
Right.
most of the Blair Witch like lore comes in the form of like collectible items.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
You very well could be right, dude.
Then you get to like, because it's a relatively short game. It's pretty goddamn expensive for being only like 5 to 6 hours long. Maybe even 4 hours if you play less like me.
It's not more
How
than
much
30,
is it?
is it? What does it cost?
It is, I think it's, hold on. I don't want to.
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
I got it right here. It is, if you would please go to the store page, Steam
It's
UI.
$30. I found it faster.
Yeah, it's $30, $29.99.
Yeah.
Sorry, it wasn't going. Yeah, it says playtime. I have 5 hours of playtime in it. But okay, take that for what it's worth, because I have been told there are alternate endings. So maybe a replay thing.
Okay. Chat's also saying it's free on Game Pass, so maybe that's Game Pass.
Yes. Let's make sure to shout that out.
Yeah.
It is on Game Pass right now.
Grab it on Game Pass. Seems like the perfect Game Pass game.
Yeah.
Yes.
The sounds of it.
Okay. Now, you come up to the endish part of the game, and you get the feeling that the people making the game were like, oh shit, we got like 4 hours of content. We got to draw this part out a little bit. And boy, fucking did they. Holy fuck. This particular part gets so fucking tedious. It destroys all suspense. They try to jump scare you and you're like, fuck, whatever. Like every other jump scare in the game definitely was
in a
well
5
done.
hour game.
Yeah.
It had time to get boring and tedious.
The last part is like, it could be cut down. Like it was like 30 minutes, I want to say.
Jeez.
You could cut off 20 minutes of that and be a way better game. Far better game.
Wow.
It was just tacked on, and it felt like it was, and you're in this, and the thing is, you're in this one location, and shit just keeps happening and happening. I think they could, like, you know how you watch it, like when you clean up your disc, you defragment it. That's what they need to do to this part. They need to defrag it, take out all the garbage parts of it, because there's certain like turning key points that you should leave in, and they're great. But there's like big chunks like throughout it where you're just like, fuck it, nope, don't need that. Nope, get that out of there. Yep, fuck that. And you could cut it down to about 10 minutes where it took like 30.
Jeez.
And it would be much better. It would shorten the game considerably, but it would be much better because you wouldn't lose the suspense. The changes would come quickly, like the tonal and plot changes would come more quickly, and they would mean more. Instead of like coming upon something, going like plot change or like, you know, big story chunk. You're like, oh, okay. Instead of that, you'd come upon it quicker and be like, oh, see the difference?
Yeah.
It is a decent game with some bad fucking shit in it. Like, I don't know how I would rate it. I'd probably give it like a D+ or a C-.
Jeez, okay.
Something like that. If they streamlined it more and took the Blair Witch off of the game, like the name Blair Witch, took it off of the game and just like reworked a couple of plot points, it'd be a fucking decent standalone game without having anything to do with the Blair Witch, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
So get it on Game Pass. Don't unless it goes on sale for like $9.99, like don't bother.
Yeah. It's weird because I've seen so many people, kind of like what Ko was saying when we first jumped into this. I've seen so many people say like, oh yeah, this game's fucking fantastic. It's so great. I've seen people like Max out there who have told me like
ranting about it.
This game's fucking dog shit. Do not buy this game.
I saw Max's tweet. Yeah. Dude, that was one of the ones I was referring to. Just like, I can't believe how like tropey,
weird,
and
man,
uninspired. Like there was a waste. And it's just like, and then like literally 5 tweets below that, someone else is like, "Man, I was scared so much during Blair Witch. It was horrifying."
Is that your Elspeth impression?
It's like, no. Did she say that?
She really enjoyed the game. Yes.
Oh God, no. Elspeth is adorable, and no, I would never make fun of her.
That was a great.
But no, that was it was not her. But anyway, so yeah, and then down below that, Bikeman was saying how he was like gonna make his own horror game because he was so tired of terrible horror games being made.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So yeah, like, oh man, it was an absolute mess. But no, there's a very good chance that they did exactly what they did with Prey. And a lot of people don't know this. Basically, Arcane Studios had a space adventure game in production. It was already being made, everything was good, and that's the Prey that was recently released that I thought was a great game. But basically, midway in development, Bethesda walked in and they were like, so this space game you got this old IP called Prey that we haven't used. Do you think we could like make this that? And they were like, I guess we could.
I guess that makes sense.
And that's how we got Prey.
And that's probably how it sold.
That's
more
why a
than
lot
it
of people.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people are like, dude, the new Prey is nothing like the old Prey. That's because it's not.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It's nothing like the old
fact.
Prey because it was never made to be the old Prey. It was a complete reboot of the most purest sense of the word.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that happened.
Yep. And the whole reason they do that stuff is because the name Prey will sell just right out the gate. So that's how the business is.
Bethesda probably thought this project will make more money if you call it Prey.
Yeah. Yep.
Arcane was like, well, you own us, so okay.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Whatever you say, Dad.
That works, Dad. You did Indie Sunday before we get to that.
The thing is, I'm surprised they didn't just name it like Layers of Fear, like : subtitle, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the game you're talking
Layers
about?
of Fear has name recognition, doesn't it?
Yeah.
By the same
game. Is that the game you were alluding to saying it was like?
Yeah. Well, it's by the same dev, apparently, is what Zeke was saying. I didn't realize the same dev made those.
Yeah,
games.
Layers of Fear and Observer were made
by the same devs as Layer of Fear. Didn't they just release Layers of Fear 2 like 2 months ago?
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
Damn, they're really cranking them out, aren't they?
I guess. Also, Layers of Fear 2 didn't do that well. I don't think it was that well received. It might have destroyed the name.
To be honest,
I haven't picked it up yet.
Yeah, I heard it was kind of rough.
Did it come out this year or last year?
This year.
This year,
just a few months ago. Yeah, I liked 1 a lot better.
That's what I think most people said.
Yeah. 2 is the definition of reaching, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of that game is reaching. Yeah.
That's what I heard. We didn't do questions last week, so let's do questions now. Then we're going to do Indie Sunday right after. We only got 2 this week because the other one I'm going to save for Court of Swords because it's D&D inspired. First question. With all the controversy regarding the legal changes to loot box lately, what is everyone's thoughts on how these things will be impacting our games down the road? I think they will continue to impact the games as much as the people playing them let them. Like if there's a huge amount of pushback on this stuff, you'll start to see tweaks and changes to it from like major game companies. But if people keep buying FIFA loot boxes, you can bet your ass that EA is going to keep putting them out there.
Well, what was it? I saw a screenshot on Reddit, and somebody had somehow gotten into some of the COD stuff, the future update they have coming out, and they have like a screenshot. It's blank, but you can see that they have loot boxes coming. So now what they're starting to say is the game is going to not be released with loot boxes. They're going to let all the reviews and stuff go out, and then once all that's been done, they're going to drop a DLC with it.
What game is this?
I'm pretty sure it's called the new Call of Duty.
Oh, the new Call of Duty.
Let me find this real quick.
Okay.
It was in games.reddit.com. They had a screenshot and everything.
It's funny because you could have said any EA or Activision game and I've been like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing though. This ties directly to Dan's question. Because 5 years ago, the game just would have released with loot boxes. And it would have been there. But now it's like companies are like, well, this is bad enough now to where like we need all the good PR we can get before we drop the bomb.
They did, as Chat's pointing out and reminding me, they did the same thing with Call of Duty last year. The loot boxes were stuff that was added after the fact and was not featured in the reviews whatsoever. Yeah. Like reviews hit, Metacritic was already out there. They added the loot boxes, which is just like, come on, man. It's messed up. What about you guys in terms of how you think they're going to impact the games down the road?
I think the games that we play most of the time, I mean, there's devs that make games to make money and have a passion about it, and then there's devs that make games to have money. And I feel like most of the games that we play aren't in that second category. Those games these days are like the NBAs, the FIFAs. I mean, they just farm their viewer base or their player base. They farm them for money in these things. And thankfully, we're not super into that outside of like, PoE. So for us, it's probably not going to be a huge deal. Because the more that line blurs between the people that are making like the non-loot box games and the overtly loot box games, the more that line blurs, I feel like the more the people that are playing without the loot boxes are going to try to police that boundary. So I think devs are wising up to the fact where it's now seen as a risk to implement loot boxes. Like just the idea of saying, we're going to put something that people can buy for random loot in our game. That right there is a red flag for a lot of people, which is great. That's exactly how it should be. So hopefully we won't be dealing too much of this inside of like our bubble on this side. But dude, there's no question that it's going to continue and only get worse in the other side. The FIFAs and the NBAs, like they're shamelessly doing it, and they don't care what the public says about it because they know they can get away with everything, and the people will keep buying their games. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not going away.
I agree.
That's for sure.
Zeke, any thoughts on loot
boxes? No, guys, nothing happened with PoE. PoE has like little cosmetic boxes. I was joking around. I'm not saying PoE has loot boxes.
Yeah, it's cosmetic. Yeah,
they're cosmetic. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Totally opt-in, optional.
They don't help your loot or anything. It all dropped better.
It's not like you're opening. It's not like you're paying for a loot box to get better players on your team or stuff like that.
Not at all.
Totally different. Yeah.
Go ahead, Zeke.
No, I'm kind of in the same boat Co is. Like, I don't play games competitively. I don't like. There's no games no competitive games that I play on a frequent basis or usually at all. So if I'm buying something for a game, it's usually like the last time I can remember doing something like that was for Warframe, and I would just buy the shit outright. You know, and it was all cosmetic stuff, and it was never like competitive stuff. So I like when people talk about loot boxes and stuff like that, I am super like unfamiliar with it. I get the outrage, but I'm not in that world, so I don't know. I can't speak like educated. I can't make educated comments about it.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh, by the way, just from my personal knowledge here, because I'm going to be totally upfront about this, I am not a Call of Duty player. Are Call of Duty loot boxes cosmetic only?
I know that they have cosmetic stuff in them. I don't know if they're cosmetic only.
Okay.
And if they
Chat is saying no. Okay, thank you. I didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Somebody earlier in my chat said, "Oh, the Call of Duty loot boxes are purely cosmetic items." And I said, "I don't think so, but let's make sure." Okay. So they are not cosmetic only. Great.
So you get better guns, I guess. I'm curious.
People are saying stats on things. They have guns in them that are really strong, says Kralik. Maddox Medow says you unlock different guns with them. They put brand new weapons in them, says Leon. Leon Kills. Interesting. Okay. Whoa.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Jesus.
Yikes. We'll see what happens with the new one.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah. The other question...
wait. It's a $60 game that then you can... Oh, that's bad.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot.
Bad.
Yeah, you don't even get all the guns in the $60 game. They charge you more for that. It's kind of messed up. Especially in like in a multiplayer, like it's messed up all around, but I think for me it's more messed up in a multiplayer game that you don't have access to all the guns, so it's not like a balanced system. Like if someone pays more money, they can get a better gun. That just seems the definition of fucked up, but some people would say the same thing about single player stuff as well. So yeah, that's fucked. The other question from Crazy Dan this week that we'll ask is referring to the point system, the channel points, I should say.
Channel points.
Have you ever considered having someone with enough points being able to afford a question for the show? I'd imagine if 10K plus purchase, I'd have to make a count, and hence the questions would be worthwhile for them. It's not a bad idea. We could definitely do something like that, maybe across all 3 channels, where we have like a day of channel point questions or something like that. But 10K is way too low. It'd have to be a lot more.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
We have way too much of a viewer base.
Oh, you just think too many questions.
It's gonna be there's going to be too many people saving up to ask questions.
Sure.
That will never get answered.
That makes sense.
Unfortunate expectation to set.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's a great idea, Dan, but they're just like, I would hate for someone to save up for like that. We set a huge price.
Months, yeah.
Somebody saves up for 3 weeks. 15 people submit questions that day, and then their question just never gets answered.
Yeah,
like, that would suck.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
I wonder how many people like just like contact Crazy Dan and just like, hey, could you ask him this question?
If not, they should maybe. Or
I will say
Dan
this,
should
though.
set up a form or something. Yeah.
I like Dan has started something really cool here. There could be some really fun systems we could set up for this. Like for instance, maybe Barry could put together a system where people could submit questions. Those would go to Dan.
Yeah.
And then he could like pick a few that then the community could vote on, and like the top 3 questions get asked that day. Like we could come up with all sorts of fun stuff to get more people involved. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Cool. Those are the questions. We'll save the other one for Court of Swords on Saturday because we rescheduled. Zeke, let's jump into Indie Sunday here because you played a bunch of games, which I'm actually curious.
People are just like spending all the salt in your chat right now.
Well, it's because I have you can spend 1,000 salt for absolutely no reason. It does nothing. It's just like spend 1,000 salt for absolutely no reason. I have one the other one that I did actually, which I think is like I was testing stuff for 20,000 salt. You can turn the channel into moat only for a minute, and like it's actually kind of it works. People are kind of enjoying that. It also is a weird thing that chat does to police themselves. So if I'm playing a game of spoilers, someone will just spend 20,000 points to put it into a moat only mode so that I don't see spoilers, which was kind of interesting.
That's super nice.
The only unfortunate thing is that because it's a custom goal, it's not automated, so I still have to, or a mod still has to go type /emote only. But I assume if the API hook is there, that a bot could see that and just like force it on its own. Anyways, that's a whole other thing. There's so much salt being spent on the channel. Yeah. Let's talk Blasphemous, Zeke.
Okay.
Is this game any good?
It's fucking great.
It is? Okay, great.
It is like, okay, but here's the thing.
Yeah?
Let me just say that on Indie Sunday, I only played games for a couple of hours. So I didn't get very far at all because the game is fucking brutally hard at points.
Really?
And can be a bit fucking frustrating at parts as well. The distance between, okay, it's a Metroidvania. Let me just start by saying that.
Okay.
It's a Metroidvania style game where you have to go to, you have to unlock checkpoints along the way in the map. And in order to, the Dark Souls aspect of it is, if you die at a certain spot, you leave a little, I don't remember what it's called, but you leave a little, like a memory, a statue of like the spot where you died. And the reason why you want to go back and get that is not because you lose money, but because the more you die, the less, like you have a magic bar, like that blue bar underneath the red bar, that allows you to do special moves or whatever. There's like these vines that creep over that bar, and the more you die, the more the vines go, and the less you can do like your special stuff, and it sucks. It's called guilt. There you go, guilt. Everything in this game is very, very like super religious-y, and I love that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it. Like one of the scenes, like this is in the very beginning of the game, and it's not spoilery at all. But like one of the first cinematic scenes is like you have this helmet that looks like a dunce cap, right? I don't know why they shaped it like a dunce cap, but you take off this helmet. I don't think you get to see his face, but you take off the helmet. You like slice open something, you fill the helmet with blood, and then you put it back on your fucking head like metal fucking up your ass. Awesomeness. I love that shit. It's so cool. But like that appeals to like old, like, you know, like Metallica shirt wearing Zeke from high school.
This does look like a Metallica cover. Yeah, I mean, you just killed like a nude woman who is crucified on an angelic statue, and then she like had the statue fall on herself and her head cut off. So yeah, looks like a Metallica album cover.
Yeah. Shout outs to Pusshead, the guy who used to do their art. But the game, it's Metroidvania with like it's melee, dodging, special moves, all that kind of stuff. You gain what's the currency in the game? I can't remember what the name of the currency is. Something like it's like
gold,
faith, tears,
really?
Something, whatever it is.
Okay. Chat's saying tears of atonement.
They're tears of atonement. Okay, so you collect the tears. That's the money. See, I don't pay attention to like
tears of atonement.
Yeah,
it's very religious.
I'm saying, I love
Lord.
I think it's great.
Do you kill Jesus or God in this game? Is he the bad guy?
No, see, that's the twist, JP. You are Jesus.
Oh my God!
The actual Bible.
Holy shit!
That's the spin.
Is there like biblical reference? What the hell is this guy? Jesus,
he has a head on a stick, and he tries to bash you with it. And like,
no, he's hitting you with a dead horse or a lamb or something.
It is? Okay.
Oh God,
he's beating you with a dead horse with a human head on it. Anyway,
This game
I
is
love the character
crazy.
design. The design of this game is fucking fantastic. The
So-
language they use in the game is also very like it sounds biblical. It's got a lot of like it sounds like it's you're reading proverbs and stories from that time, and it's fantastic. It is tough. Like I was gonna say, like when you die and you want to get back to your thing, there's a lot of like one particular part that I came up against in only the 2 hours that I played. I'm planning on playing more of it tomorrow. Tomorrow I had scheduled, but now I'm going to do I was going to do Blair Witch tomorrow because of Court of Swords, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But since the postponement, Thursday was open, so tomorrow I'm going to revisit my Indie Sunday games, and Blasphemous will be revisited tomorrow. But there's one part where there's a wind mechanic, and I always hate this in games when they do wind mechanics and you have to wait for the wind to blow properly the way you need it to blow, and then it waits and it blows the other way, and then you got to wait and you got to go back. And that part like really, really frustrated me. Oh, this is a great move.
That's cool as shit.
If you get a perfect parry and a riposte or whatever,
yeah,
you can do like a cool special move. Like that one was like you grab the guy's head and you like chop, 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 and then behead him. It's great.
Cool.
So parrying and blocking is a big part of the game. But the wind place, like you have to go up this wind tunnel. It's a jumping like thing, and if you die, you have to do it all over again because there's no checkpoint. Like the checkpoints are spaced out pretty well, but the game can get pretty frustrating if you are the kind of person who gets impatient with Dark Souls. This game is going to fucking frustrate the fuck out of you because you can't just rush. You have to beat the enemies because they will throw rocks at you and knock you off of the fucking wall and all this kind of shit. So you have to be patient. What's that?
Does that include the bosses? So like if you fail a boss, do you have to like kill all the enemies back on the way to the boss?
I wouldn't know. I haven't got to a boss. I got to the very, very first boss that everyone fights like right away. But I never got to another boss because like I said, I'm not LeBron James. I'm not.
Game seems pretty hard. I mean,
just really
by the amount of health that you're losing each of those hits,
yeah.
like I can completely see why this is considered difficult. Quick question: What's the setting of this game? Is this supposed to be? It looks slightly historical. There's not a lot of electricity. Is there like a location, time period?
Yeah, Chad was saying like Earth? Spanish Inquisition is what it's inspired by.
But I think it's in a fantasy world though. I don't think it takes place on Earth. I think it takes place somewhere else, right? Fantasy Europe. There you go. Yeah.
You're fighting a nun who has a person shoved in a jar, and then she's flinging the jar.
Yeah, watch this bullshit though. Watch this bullshit.
JP, have you never been
and I hit it while I touch it while it's on the fucking ground. It's not even being swung anymore. It is still on the ground, and I touch it and I die. And that's fuck that. That's where I actually ended my session that day.
What were you saying, Co, about the nun and the person in the jar?
I was gonna say last time I went to a nunnery, it was pretty much like that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's how you become a nun. You got to sit in a jar for a while.
Gotta do what you gotta do, JP.
Yeah. How much is the game, Zeke?
Good question. The game is. There we go. I'm trying to navigate the new Steam UI, by the way. $24.99. So it's a little spendy for an indie game, but I think it seems like it's absolutely worth it to me.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I heard there's a pretty good amount of gameplay in this game too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's move on. Children of Morta also heard I think Dodger either completed this game or was playing this game.
Very good
and
things.
Spoke very highly of it. Yeah. How was Children of Morta?
Children of Morta, I was apprehensive about because I've played games like this. What was that game that you really liked, JP? That was a roguelike where you were a wizard with cloaks?
Wizards of something, I think. I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Chad will tell me here in a sec.
Wizard of Legend.
There you go. Wizards of Legend. Yeah.
Wizard of Legend. That's what it looked like to me. I was like, oh, Wizard of Legend game.
Yeah.
However, the things that this game have going for it right off the bat that are different from most roguelites are the pixelated environment is fucking gorgeous. The time and effort they took to make this game look good is completely upfront. It's majestic to look at. I really, really enjoy how they put everything together, and it's all pixel graphics, which just blows me away.
The animation is what kind of stole my eye in a couple things.
Yeah.
Just very well done.
The second thing, and probably the most important thing, is the way they tell the story and how good the story is, and the script. Because it's not. Or wait, I'm sorry. I play so many games. Was this voice acted? I can't remember.
I think it was.
I think
it has like narrated cutscenes, right?
Oh, there's a narrator.
Yeah,
that's right. There's a narrator. That's right. Okay. But the characters voiced? I can't remember.
Not sure.
I remember because I remember reading during the game.
His voice is saying chat.
Okay. No, only the narrator. Characters aren't voiced. That's what I thought. Okay.
Bada boom.
So the narrator's voice is great. He is fucking fantastic. He's like a fantasy, like high fantasy narrator, deep voice, but very well spoken and that kind of stuff. Just what you want in a narrator for a game like this.
Yeah.
But they tell the story piece by piece after you complete something or after you die and come back home. Every time like some little event like that happens, they tell you a little bit more of the story, but the narrator is fucking fantastic, and it paints such a cool background and the imagery of what's happening. It is really, really good. Gameplay wise, it's not super revolutionary gameplay wise. You run around, you get power ups. It's a twin stick, which means move, and aim if you want to. Most people use mouse. Most people use keyboard mouse for shit like this. I do not. Like it controls like a twin stick. So I found that you start off by doing the sword and board guy, the guy with the sword and shield, and then I moved into the archer, and I was having a lot more fun because it was ranged combat. So it was a lot easier to keep track of who I was hitting and the enemies were dying and that kind of shit. I took way more to the archer. And the funny thing is, one of the funny things about this game is they don't use like fantasy old timey, names. You play Linda, like that's the archer's name is Linda.
Sure.
Hi, Linda.
And like David and like just stock names, which I thought was like okay, weird choice, but all right. I was prepared to pay like Laurelinia or something like some old timey in fantasy.
Lorelai, that's what.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
exactly. And Uncle Ben. Oh God, yeah, Uncle Ben is in there. Kevin, kind of fucking one of your like the main character's son is named Kevin. I'm like, oh man, you couldn't name him like Cramdor or something like that. Some old time. Anyway, it's a fucking fantastic game. We're running out of time. It's a fucking fantastic game. I enjoyed it thoroughly. As the gameplay was average and good, but the story and environment that they create is fucking phenomenal.
Okay.
It is. God damn it! Come on. $21.99. So it's a bit on the higher side for an indie game. No, that's its full price. It's $21.99, which is kind of a weird price.
Yeah, I wonder how they came up on that.
But yeah, so Children of Morta. I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time with it for sure.
Okay. So we have two more games, but we are a little bit. I want to give them what they deserve. Should we save Creature in the Well and Stone Story for next week?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll save those two, and we'll add it on to the next show because I want to be able to talk about them at length rather than just get sound bites from you.
Right. Yep. Thank you.
Those sweet Zeke sound bites.
Yeah. The hottest in the podcast world, Zeke bites.
I want to hear you're going to talk about Nier.
I'll say that I'm playing Nier. I'm going.
You said you never play it.
I've never played it before. I'm going to continue playing Nier.
You never played. You had a bot command, didn't you?
I did have a bot command for the better part of 2 years, only because I got just almost harassed. I think is a proper term.
Did you feel attacked, JP?
I felt attacked, and then I had to make like such a strong statement that like the command I think originally was like, JP will never play Nier. stop asking or something like that. I forgot what it actually was. And then Monday came around and I was like, well, I don't really want to like farm in Borderlands for 5 hours. And I bought Nier when it was on sale a long time ago. Maybe I should play Nier. And then I played Nier for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours. And I'm going to continue today after the stream. It's part of the Final Fantasy 14 raid that comes out in October, which might be something that kind of pushed me to play it.
Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah. There's the catalyst.
Yeah. It's going to be the 24-man raid in Final Fantasy 14 is Nier inspired. Like they're going to have characters.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to have like you guys have Yoko Taro. Is that it? What's his name? The developer of Nier. Do you know what I'm talking about? Whatever his,
yes.
He is, Yoko Taro is working on the raid. Like the developers of Nier are working on the raid in Final Fantasy 14 with the Final Fantasy 14 devs. So it's not just like inspired by, it's actually Nier will be in Final Fantasy 14. So it kind of goaded me into playing it. That and it was either that or like start a Divinity 2 run, but I don't want to do that because I know how long that game is, and I know that there's Surge 2 coming out, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to just play something else, and I jumped into it, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is pretty good. So I will continue. I just got, for those that have played, I just had the underground thing like be blown up, and I'm now getting ready to go underground.
Ooh.
So
Ooh, nice.
I'm still kind of early on,
spot.
I think. Yeah.
You are, but that's a good spot.
Okay, cool.
This cannot continue?
I really like that song. And I had heard about that scene before playing it. So there's a couple things that I know about the game only from you guys talking about it and just the fact that it's been out there for a while. One of them being that at the very end of the game, you delete your save. I don't know why. I just know that that's a thing that happens. So game's been out 2 years. If I just spoiled it for someone, it's not really a spoiler. I think it's the meaning behind doing that. And then I know that the game, this cannot continue. If that's really I don't think that's a spoiler. You're doing that face where you're upset about it, but it's the meaning behind upsetting it.
That leads to very spoilery questions. But you don't, for the record, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. Well, again, that's all I know, so I don't want to know any more else than that.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I knew it wasn't a spoiler.
Let's leave it. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. I knew it wasn't like that much of a spoiler. I just know the action occurs or can occur now. I knew about the This Cannot Continue song because I saw a little bit of that. And that's about it. I don't know what else is in that game. And I know that there's multiple playthroughs that have variants through them. Like multiple playthroughs. But apart from that, I'm going in pretty blind. And people seem excited by that. So I'm checking it out today after the stream. We'll see how it goes. And that's pretty much what I've been playing. Surge 2 next week. We'll be talking about that. I think, we'd have played it by now. I think we can stream, Monday, if not Tuesday, is when we can start checking
Monday
that out.
at 2 p.m.
Okay. Are you going to wait till Tuesday?
Same as the, I'm going to do Tuesday morning. But it's the same basically as the Greedfall stuff. It's identical.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably check out.
Same Focus Home, same guys.
I'll check it out on Monday then, because Tuesday we have Court of Swords and stuff like that. So we'll probably, hopefully, be in around the same spot when we discuss it next Wednesday.
Oh, for sure.
We'll see how long.
I'm going to be maining Surge 2 for probably like the whole week.
I figured as much. Are you gonna? None of you are gonna check out Zelda on Friday, right? The new Zelda game.
Oh, there's a new Zelda game coming out?
Yeah, Zelda. It's a remake. It's a remake. With, It's the remake.
Awakening remake.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That comes out Friday. Yeah.
Wow. Really?
I'll probably check it out.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
The one time I've streamed Zelda games, it was Wind Waker, and I think the Zelda fan base is so passionate that the second that you don't know a puzzle, within seconds of getting to it, they just berate you over the fucking head about how wrong and dumb you are for not solving it. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the same, if the puzzles are the same for Link's Awakening on Friday, and if it is, I don't know if I'll be playing much of it because it might destroy it.
That's one thing I'm a little bit wondering about. Is it identical to the original, or are they like throwing in little things? Is it supposed to be just a 100% remake?
I don't know.
No exceptions kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not 100% certain.
Just give out a bunch of salt so people can put it in emote only mode.
Well,
There you
yeah,
go.
we can't. I wish we could give out salt, but we can't do that. There's no functionality for that.
That just means all of you watching now are going to need to be here for those streams.
Yeah,
it's up to you, chat, to keep the chat in emote only mode permanently.
That's true. It's up to you guys. And then I want to talk about this next week, but did you guys see this thing from the ESA, the people that run E3, about how they want to change E3 for next year and make it more influencer and celebrity focused?
I like what Omid caught on the little thing there. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't see that. What was that?
Oh, the charity good intention stuff.
Yes. Oh, yeah, the slide.
Yeah. In one of the slides, it's basically like, now keep in mind, everybody, that when working with influencers, they crave attention. So you can use that as a commodity when like it's basically just saying like, yeah, don't pay for this, but use them.
That whole thing, man, that thing came straight out of like a marketing team. Some of the wordage in there is just
garbage.
It's garbage. But the other thing too is
garbage.
There was the idea that it's like, oh no, we shouldn't pay these influencers and these celebrities. Like that was a direct line from one of those things.
Yeah, the worst part. Yeah, the worst part is it's acting like it's teaching everyone reading this that. It's like, no, you shouldn't be paying these people. Like if you know how to do it properly, and it's like, you're E3. Like, come on, man.
Well,
this is
part of me wants, and I don't know the full thing surrounding this document. I don't know if this was a marketing team that was like applying for a job or like applying that they hired or outsourced for this type of thing. I don't know the full surrounding of it, but
good point.
It's fucking bizarre. Anytime one of those things leak to the greater public, you kind of just look at that and you're like, what the fuck? Like, Christ.
And then also like just the changes in general that they want to do. They want to bring in 10,000 more people into E3.
Yeah.
And especially considering that E3 has kind of been like on the way down with all these other people doing their own shows and stuff. So basically, they're going to turn it from a central location where all the big companies come together and make their announcements to a lot more people, not as many companies making announcements. It's kind of, I don't know.
Did you see the line about...
It doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction.
Did you see the line about Qtainment?
Oh, God, yeah.
Where they wanted, while you're in line, they want to have other smaller game developers showing you games as you walk through the line for a bigger game developer demo. But they called it Qtainment, and it's I fucking hate this person. These are such marketing expired terms.
That's like the person that came up with no. They're surprise mechanics, not loot boxes.
Right? Yeah.
Surprise mechanics.
Fucking Christ. Yeah. It's worth reading that that leaked PDF if you're at all curious, just for the fact that it's pretty funny to read. But for my interest, I hope that's not what E3 becomes next year. I tweeted that out as well. We'll see what happens, but that'd be scary.
I responded to your tweet, and I didn't quite understand your response. It made me think that I wrote something wrong. But like I was saying,
I didn't understand your lack of response, and I was like, he definitely didn't understand that.
Okay, so no, what I was saying is it's the only positive I could see from them bringing in 10,000 more people is that maybe the larger companies that have been edging away from E3 will go, oh, maybe we should be there because there's more people. And then the last line was me saying, but since there's 10,000 more people there, that's just even less of a chance I'm going to go there personally.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the point I was trying to make. With
that.
I do kind of. Well, I don't like seeing E3 die. That's basically it's been like in this slow decline for years. So whatever they need to do to keep it afloat and keep those big announcements and the big shows, like that part of E3 is a lot of fun. And honestly, I definitely look forward to our time each year when we cover it. Like that is a fun weekend. It's honestly like a little vacation for me. It's one of the only times I stay up late streaming ever during the year. So like that part's awesome. But and you know whatever they need to do to keep it popular and keep people interested, that involves bringing 10,000 more people. You do you.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be so unfortunate if they do all that and then it doesn't get the interest, and then all of a sudden the show turns into something it's not really supposed to be, and it just smells a lot worse.
Right. Yeah.
I'll have to see.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Outlook is grim. We'll see what happens in the next 9 months, something like that. We're a ways out from it. Anyways.
Yeah, we got a while.
We got a while. Yeah. That's it. We're done this week. Zeke, you are here next week still, right? On Wednesday? You're not gone? I think you said Thursday is when we part. Okay, because TwitchCon is next week. Zeke will be there. Me and Co will not. But you're going to be doing, as you announced at the... I'll let you do your whole spiel. Do some shout-outs, because I'm sure you're going to mention it again.
And also, Zeke, for people that weren't here earlier, definitely probably want to mention that again.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead, Zeke.
All right. Thank you guys very much for being here today, for watching. Thank you to Co and JP for being wonderful co-hosts every week, week in, week out. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_I on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. What am I doing for E3? Well, I made an announcement. Or E3. Jesus. What am I doing for TwitchCon? Well, I made an announcement, and that announcement is that during the opening ceremony, is what they're calling it now, rather than the keynote speech, you will get all the information that you would normally get out of the keynote speech, but it will be in a talk show interview style, and I will be participating in that, and I will be interviewing Emmett Shear, the CEO of Twitch. So, along with that, there's bullet points that we have to touch on and stuff like that, but at the end of the interview, if hopefully we have time, we will open it up to audience questions, like not a lot of them, like 2 or 3, maybe 5 if they're short, but we'll have some audience questions. If you would like to ask Emmett a question, head over to my channel. There's on the top of the chat box, there's a room that says, you hit no one ever uses these chat rooms anymore, but I'm using it now. It says questions for Emmett. If you would like to ask Emmett a question, like me to ask him that, put it in that chat. And I will, and why am I doing it on Twitch? Because it's Twitch branded. It looks like Twitch. So we'll probably like crop it and do a little like have your name and your badges and your emotes, whatever you put in your little comment there. That will be like possibly like popped up on the screen. Now, bear in mind, if your question is shitty or you're being a dick, probably won't get asked at all. In fact, it won't get asked. I'm just going to say that right off the top. It probably won't get asked. So if you really want a question answered, make sure it's like, something that is reasonable to be answered by the CEO of Twitch. So that's what's happening. I'm having a meet and greet as well during TwitchCon. It's Saturday, I want to say at 12:30. Yeah, Saturday at 12:30 is my meet and greet if you want to meet me or greet me. Also, I will be doing the Global Emotes meetup at 2:30 on Saturday. And then 3 p.m. on Sunday, I'm doing improv for content creators. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you should. If you want to see what I'm doing during TwitchCon, my schedule, it's on the TwitchCon site. Just put my name in. Okay, that's all.
Awesome stuff. Go. Do some shout outs.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Co. As always, thanks to JP and Zeke. Always a good time on the show. If I don't know you, hi. Nice to meet you. I stream every day at 8 a.m. EDT. This week, you're going to see a lot more Greedfall in the morning as we work through that game. Borderlands 3 in the afternoon. Maybe checking out some other stuff before Surge 2, which we're going to be 100%ing. After that, we've got AI Somnum Files. We've got a lot of scary games in October. We got probably some Code Vein, all sorts of stuff coming up. So hope to see you on the channel. And if I don't see you there, I will see you here next week, most likely. Although, I don't know what we're going to do next week. Maybe Borderlands 3 or maybe just more show. But regardless, see you then. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Zeke, you're going to check out Borderlands 3 between now and then? Maybe?
Between now and
next week?
I might check it out for my offline game. Yeah, you bet.
Okay. All right. If you do, maybe we'll jump into some co-op. I haven't done any co-op in it, so be interested in checking it out.
I haven't actually either.
Yeah. Be curious to see how that all goes. God, this feels so weird doing shout-outs still. It's just weird. Hi. My name's JP. We're going to be playing some Nier Automata after this. The PC version, probably for the next 3 or 4 hours. So if you want to watch that, feel free. Roleplay we got 3 roleplay shows on Saturday and Sunday. Far Verona on Saturday starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. Court of Swords rescheduled starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a special one shot with myself, Adam Coble, Dodger, and then Asa Butterfield and his brother Morgan Butterfield are going to be joining us for a special 4-hour one-shot. If you've seen Ender's Game or Sex Education on Netflix, that's Asa Butterfield. He's the star of those shows, and we're eager to jump into some Dungeon World, so it should be fun. We've already got characters made. There's no Patreon video for that, but we are all good to go, so we hope to see you guys there for that Sunday. And then more Drop Frames next week on Wednesday. Shout out to everyone, by the way, that's been checking out the MP3 of the show and rating on all the different platforms on iTunes and Spotify and Google Music and all that stuff. We don't talk about it too much, but it does not go unnoticed, and we appreciate you guys for supporting the show in that manner. That's it. We're done. We'll see you guys next week. I have a guest in mind. I don't know if he'll be here next week, but I'll leave you with that. So we'll see you guys next week. We will get him on the show eventually, though. I've been wanting to talk to him for a while. So there's a guest coming up. Brace yourselves. It may happen.
Do we get a hint?
He's a sweet old grandma. I'll just say that much. We'll see you guys next time for Drop Frames.